Hello and welcome to the Kate and Eric Show podcast, brought to you by faith, family, friends, and freedom. So I'd just like to thank everybody for listening to the show. Thank you very much for joining me here whenever you listen to this, because obviously, being a recorder, you can't listen to this live. But my goal is hopefully by like Super Tuesday next week, when the big elections come around, I can do a live on one of the socials, probably TikTok, I think. You can follow me there on TikTok at the Kate and Eric Show. So I'll probably want to do that. So please, if you're on TikTok at all, please let your family members know, friends, acquaintances, enemies, everybody, that I am on TikTok. I am almost at 1,000. You have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok in order to go live. So I would like to go live. That would be kind of fun, but this is just kind of a little side note here. So yeah, you can listen to me you can see the fun videos and my beautiful handsome face on TikTok and my other socials at Facebook page at the Kate and Eric Show, YouTube, the Kate and Eric Show, and then True Social, Kate and Eric Show. So YouTube, TikTok, what are the others I just said? Oh, and X. Forgot about that one. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Oh, but so yeah, so X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, the Facebook page, the True Social, the Kate and Eric Show. You can find me on all of those. So this week is going to be this was a very big week. Later on, I will talk more about the Kevin McCarthy is out of this as the speaker, the Trump trial. First, but let's do, of course, I was gonna say the football, but the sports update. So, like I said last week, the Astros, I was either going to be a happy camper today or I was not going to be a happy camper today. So the Astros, finally, the last game, 162, they came out as division winners, which was pretty exciting. I honestly was nervous. I didn't think they were going to do it. I didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs when they were getting swept by the Kansas City Royals. But here, so after the celebration, after they won, they swept Arizona 3 games in Arizona in order to make sure they did that. And then, of course, the Rangers, they lost, I don't remember how many games they lost, but they lost the last game, which, if they had won it, would have made them the AL West division champs. But no, Seattle came in great for us, and they won. So the Astros are in first place, and now they play the Minnesota Twins, which has finally won a playoff series the first time in over 20 years. So congratulations. I know I have listeners up in Minnesota. Congratulations to the Minnesota Twins for coming to face the Astros. But here is what Alex Bregman, our third baseman, had to say after they won the division.
People were wondering what it was going to be like if the Stros didn't win the division. I guess we'll never know.
Anyway, so they celebrated their champagne and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so the playoffs are us at the Houston Astros against the Minnesota Twins. The Rays couldn't find a way to win or even score any runs, really. They scored 1 run against the Texas Rangers, so the Rangers will play the Orioles, and on the there it is. So then the Phillies will play the Braves, and Diamondbacks will play the Dodgers. Ugh, don't like the Dodgers. Anyway, so that's the playoffs there. Oh, and then Minnesota, they did something kind of fun, something kind of silly. Don't think it's going to turn out very well for them. And where they were chanting the same thing that the Yankees did in the playoffs against us last year. So just take a little listen. Well, the last 2 teams in the playoffs that said we want Houston, they lost. So prepare yourselves, Minnesota. because the Yankees said that and they got swept. The Phillies said that and they lost in 6 games. So you want Houston? Let's go. So just exciting. Great week for MLB. MLB. It was a great week. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about football and other things. But yeah, so that's the playoffs for baseball, and then NHL starts October the 10th. And then, of course, you got college football. BYU had let's see. So BYU won their first Big 12 conference game against Cincinnati. Oh, it is so great. I know, a lot of people out there probably thinking, what's the big deal about, winning a conference game? But BYU has been independent for probably, I don't know, a dozen years or something like that. And, it's just, there hasn't really been something fun to cheer about, as far as I'm concerned. But yes, they finally won their first ever Big 12 game. They beat Cincinnati. FSU had the bye, and then Texas, they crushed Kansas 40-14. So the big Red River rivalry is coming up, Oklahoma and Texas. So let's go Horns. I hope it is a game like last year where they crushed them 49-0. So let's go with that. So then you have the NFL. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan in the first place. If there's some Swifties out there, I'm sorry, but I am not a big Taylor Swift fan at all. And the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing is driving me absolutely nuts. It is driving me insane how much I didn't watch the Jets-Chiefs game, but apparently there was commercials after commercial after commercial about her and her whatever is coming up. And then they would just pan to her all the time, and it is just driving everybody nuts, I think. But so good luck, Chiefs, with that. The 49ers, of course, are 4-0. They handled Arizona, and that's kind of the sports update, because I want to get to some other stuff. Today it has to be kind of a quick episode, 30, 40 minutes. So that's the sports update. So the New York trial for Trump has been kind of a crap show. If you've seen any of the video, there has been, the New York AG, the one, she absolutely hates Trump, was totally staring him down as he was sitting in the front row. And then you had the doofus-looking judge who's sitting there with, as soon as the cameras comes on, he takes off his glasses and has a big, ridiculous doofus face smile. I'm just like, all right. And everybody was making fun of it on social media, of course, because, yeah, that's just what they do. So apparently 80% of Trump's trial is past the statute of limitations, as what he was saying. So maybe this will just get thrown out. So this is what he had to say.
Very good. That last 5 minutes was outstanding because the judge essentially conceded that the statute of limitations that we wanted the reveals is in effect. Therefore, about 80% of the case is over. I was going to come out and say that, as you know, we're not entitled to a jury, which is pretty unusual in the United States of America. So I think it's very unfair that I don't have a jury, but the judge's last statement was very fair. And if I read it right, I'll let perhaps one of the lawyers speak to it. But maybe you'll speak to it if you would. But the way I interpret that, and the way everyone else in the room seems to interpret that, is that the statute of limitations is a very real thing in this country. And that would be about 80% of this case would be over.
So I apologize for the music that was playing in the background, but I pulled that video from something else. So apparently 80% of the charges or whatever it is can probably be thrown out. So I guess they're only going to be working on 20% of it to try to defend him. I don't know. The judge looks really, I don't know anything about this judge. This is kind of what he had to say on juries, though.
Controversial, even while being taped.
Juries get it wrong a lot. That's my own opinion. I do only civil trials, personal injury cases, contract disputes. But I've had situations where, like, oh my heaven's sake, how could they have thought that? Well, I have a tool that I can deal with that. It's called jury notwithstanding the verdict, judgment notwithstanding the verdict. I can say there is no possible way that a reasonable jury would have reached that conclusion. And, all right, am I following the law or am I making law? Okay, I'm following law. I'm an impartial referee, but it's hard to factor out my own emotions. And I have tools. Somebody can say, well, Your Honor, you have to throw out this case because it's just like another case. Well, is it just like another case? What if the defendant was wearing a red sweater instead of a blue sweater? Oh, and by the way, I worked for the Columbia Daily Spectator for a couple of weeks. What happened was I went there every day, and I wrote a few stories. One I got criticized on because I wrote that some Ku Klux Klanners had murdered some people, and I was told, you can't say that. How do we know? You weren't there. Well, that was what everybody thought. Anyway, yeah, we should have absolute immunity. What if we defame somebody? That's how it usually comes up. You know, you call somebody a murderer or a heroin addict, that sort of thing, pedophile. And if it's done in court, yeah, I think we should have absolute immunity.
So just interesting, his that's a little montage there of some things he had to say. So that's the judge in the New York trial for the former president. So good luck up there. But I just want to share a little clip of the New York Attorney General and what she had to say, because she's just lovely. I mean, she was giving him like the death stare. If she could like fire lasers out of her eyes at Trump that first day, oh, she would have. So let's just listen to a little thing. She, an impartial. So let's just listen to her.
The President of the United States has complained that I'm engaging in some sort of political witch hunt, that I've got some personal vendetta against him, that I campaigned against him. That is not true.
Illegitimate president who sits in the White House. That president, because he's not my president, he's an illegitimate president. His days are numbered. We've got to get ready to mobilize, and we've got to get ready to agitate and irritate until victory is won, but more importantly, until Trump is defeated. You want to all rise up and resist this man. And ultimately, we'll bring him down. This illegitimate president, I'm going to give you the same level of respect that you gave to President Obama, and that is absolutely no respect at all. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
That is not true. The President of the United States has
So anyway, that's the lovely Attorney General for New York who has brought all these charges against Trump. But no, she's not campaigning against him. No, not at all. So that's good luck with that. Hopefully, truth and justice will prevail and everything will turn out good. Because the crap show that we're dealing with today is just insane. So anyway, there's all that. So I'll keep everybody updated on that and how all that goes. And just so the big news, obviously, is the fact that we no longer have a Speaker of the House, and that has never happened in the history of our country. I guess they came close to that over like 110 years ago, around 1910, firing the Speaker of the House, but it did not happen. But this week it did. Kevin McCarthy is no longer the Speaker of the House. So that is interesting. So they're going to get a new Speaker. Kevin McCarthy has said he is not going to be running for campaigning or whatever it is that they do for Speaker of the House. If you watch my video, I was really, really frustrated Tuesday, so it's had time to marinate the last couple days. But it's just, I don't understand the fighting and just, I don't know, the ineptitude or just the lack of what the Republicans do or don't do. I mean, I don't understand with everything that the Biden administration, and I'm not saying I'm pro Kevin McCarthy or anything like that. Jim Jordan, who I think is a great guy, he would be a great Speaker of the House, and I think he is put his name in for running as Speaker of the House. I think he would be great. I think Thomas Massey would be great. But Jim Jordan, defended what Kevin McCarthy did, saying he kept his promises on three things there. But I don't understand, because it seems even with the doofus face that we have as president, all the Democrats come together and they're all united in supporting President Pooped His Pants. It's like with everything. I don't understand why Republicans can't come together. I mean, the Biden administration and Democrats have given you the game. They've given you, to do a sports analogy here, they have given you the game. They have fumbled. They have thrown interceptions. They have committed errors. If you want to, we can throw some baseball in there too. They have done everything possible to give you the win, and you can't do it. I did a TikTok a while ago, and Biden, Joe was like, name your one thing that we have not set out to do that we failed on. So I made a list of there's 20 things on here. But what the failures of the Biden administration is record gas prices, highest inflation in 40 years. Remember the lack of food and other supplies and things in the stores, baby food. I remember that being a big thing because my sister had just recently had a baby, and there was no baby formula. My brother-in-law had to go all over the place to find formula, and it was just a big nightmare. So there's been that. Millions of illegals coming across our border. Oh, and the month of September, last month, the number of illegals coming across the border was, can anybody take a guess? 260,000 people came across our southern border. That, my friends, is an invasion. It is an invasion of the United States. And that's just plain and simple. So there's that. There's, millions have come across our border. The horrific Afghanistan pullout, where we just left millions of dollars worth of equipment, weapons. We left our allies there. We left citizens there. I mean, everybody saw the videos and the pictures of the military planes flying over, and people are trying to hold on to the plane like Mission Impossible style. Tom Cruise is on the side of the plane trying to get into it. And then they falling hundreds of feet to the ground. That horrific thing. There's a war in Ukraine. The U.S. credit score fell again. The only time that's ever happened is under Obama and Biden. The massive amounts of violence in our cities is just insane. I mean, you've got look at any of the videos and you'll see, stores. I saw this great video the other day of San Francisco. It showed the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was really beautiful. Then it showed all of these major stores and companies. They've closed their doors because of the crime that is so rampant in our major cities. And I've never been to San Francisco. I've heard of I have family members that are, that were born there and are from there. My mom is from there. My grandparents, they lived there. And they used to say that it was a beautiful city at one point, and it has just turned to garbage because of these policies. We've got hundreds of billions of dollars being sent to Ukraine, and we've got homeless people, I would say probably millions of homeless people all over our streets. We have, massive homeless population. We've got fentanyl just pouring into our country, thanks to the open border. We've got China threatening Taiwan. He said, the great thing is like, oh, we said we're going to cure cancer. And then he claimed to do it, but he didn't because he's a lying sack of dog crap. There's mass exodus from blue states. The mental health of the country is insane, where men think that they can become women and women think they can become men, or they think that they're dogs, or whatever else that they think of. I mean, it's just insane. Energy dependence on our enemies, meaning we have to get our oil from other places because this administration has shut down, or trying to shut down, and that was one of their goals, is they were going to get rid of fossil fuel. And if we were all to get rid of our gas cars and get the EVs and plug into the power grids, the power grid would fail everywhere. It wouldn't be able to take the amount of stress that if everybody plugged in there. I mean, California is up in arms and at war against fossil fuel cars. I forget what year it is, but by here in the next few years, or 10 or whatever it is, they're no longer going to be allowed to sell cars with combustible engines. So I thought, like, hey, why don't we open a car dealership up in Nevada? Make some money off this, because they're going to have to go get their cars from somewhere. We used to be energy independent, and now we are dependent. Prices for everything has gone up. The average American is spending thousands of dollars more every year on the same crap because of this guy. Draining our strategic oil and weapons and munition, and we're sending them off to Ukraine to fight the wonderful war with Putin. Other countries, Poland has said that they're done. They're done helping out. They're at their limit. I believe France the other day said, yeah, we're done. We are at the bottom. Ukraine, or I was going to say the UK, but England is also at their wits' end, or their the extent of what they can give to Ukraine. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And then, of course, the grand total of them all, the cherry on top, there was cocaine found at the White House. I mean, take 5 of these issues and run your campaign. I mean, there was a great quote by Trump here recently because of what had happened with Speaker of the House, is that he said on True Social, why is it that Republicans are always fighting among themselves? Why aren't they fighting the radical left Democrats who are destroying our country? Take any of these items, run on that as a campaign, and I guarantee you're going to win. It's just, I don't understand that the stupid bickering, the stupid fighting. If McCarthy isn't doing his job, or I mean, it's just, then sure, let's get somebody else. But if it turns out that something is worse than Matt Gaetz and the 8 that voted against McCarthy, the history is going to say that they messed up big time. I mean, I've never understood it. I've never understood it, because it seems like the Democrats are completely, and the liberals, and I mean, they have the liberal media, they have Hollywood, they've got all these celebrities, they even got some sports figures that are out there championing, their causes for, and they don't fight among themselves. Why can't Republicans do that? I guess that's why I say, like, I'm no longer really a Republican, I'm a conservative, because I can't, they can't do it. And then they spend like a drunken sailor. They can't, I mean, they had the executive, they had both houses in Congress, and they did not build the fence. for our southern border. They can't freaking pass a budget. I don't understand it. It just baffles my mind what they can't do. I mean, it's just insane. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Why they can't come together on any number of these issues that the Biden administration has done. I mean, they're all incompetent. They all can't. I mean, whenever they're brought before any congressional hearings or anything, they don't answer questions. You've got the press secretary who just says, "Oh, talk to this, whatever. Talk to whoever else. Don't talk to me." They don't answer questions. They can't answer questions. I don't understand it. I don't understand. And this is where the frustration comes in to that video that I posted a couple days ago. Is I don't understand why the crap you can't come together when it seems. I mean, there may be a couple Democrats that break. Like RFK Jr. is one, and they don't like him either, and they're all against him. But they all come together. I mean, every one of them, all of them in Congress, all of them in the Senate, they all say how wonderful Biden's doing, how wonderful he is, that people just don't understand. I mean, they're so condescending, though, but it's just that they're like, oh, the message just hasn't gotten out. I mean, they're all like saying the same thing. I don't know if they like all get the same email and they're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the Republicans can't seem to do that. And I don't understand it. I don't understand why they can't all come together. Why can't they all take a number of these things and say, this is what the Biden administration done, this is what Democrats have done, and run on that. And I guarantee it that people will come together. People will vote for them if they can get that out. But they can't do it. It's just very, very frustrating. It's very irritating. It's very frustrating. They can't seem to come together. I don't know if it's just because, I don't know, maybe they're just Republican, like the rhinos. Maybe they're like like Mitt Romney. I don't know. I don't understand what the deal is. Why they can't come together. Why they can't just campaign on any of these things. And I guarantee they'll win. But what do I know? I'm just a person living in this country trying to figure out what the crap is going on with these idiots. But I kind of want to play, and then, I mean, they're so united, right? That we had the ever looming government shutdown on the 30th of September, which they haven't really solved that problem either. It's just they're going to have the same problem in 45 days. Not passing a budget. They just kind of kick the can down the road, and they'll deal with the budget later, which they haven't passed a budget for decades. Or for at least a very long time, 15 years, maybe not decades, but maybe a long, long time. I don't think they've passed a budget where if you did this in your own house, you would be bankrupt. You would be living on the street. But in Congress, no, they can just, perpetuate this awful debt and everything and not do anything about it. But just amazing. I don't know. I just don't understand. It doesn't make any freaking sense to me. But so I kind of want to play some clips here of what Matt Gaetz had to say. Oh, that's where I was going with that. Sorry, I hadn't got a little sidetracked. I looked at one thing. I'm like, oh, this is what I want to talk about now. But so they had it there because what the Democrats do. This is what they do. So our democracy, quote unquote, our democracy almost died September 30th. Did you know that? Hopefully you're aware of that. And because we had a Democrat congressman pull the fire alarm in hopes of stopping the vote because they knew the Democrats knew that Kevin McCarthy had the votes to delay the budget talks for another 45 days, and they wanted this to not. They didn't want this to pass, so they could come back and have political capital later, and say that Republicans couldn't pass it. The government is shut down. Oh no, the government shut down. So one of them pulled the fire alarm, and this is what his stupid response was in saying why he did it.
I don't know why this has gotten so much attention. I was literally just in a rush to go vote, man. That's all it was.
Are you afraid of any repercussions, either from leadership or from legal aid and capital?
I mean, listen, I take responsibility for what I did, but like I said, I was in a rush to go vote, and, investigation will sort everything else out.
Have you talked to Jeffries about it?
Oh, yeah, of course, that's day one, yes.
How was that conversation?
Well, I got to keep that between me and the leader, so I'm not going to share that publicly yet, but we've been in touch with each other.
So that's what his excuse. He was such in a rush to go vote that the door to the outside, he decided, he thought, oh, you know what, I'm gonna pull this, because you have the handicap doors where you push the button and the door opens. So he thought, I guess he was sitting there thinking like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna pull this because this is gonna open the door to the outside, even though you vote inside the building. And so it's big and it's red and it says fire on it. So I'm gonna pull this and let's just see what happens. Maybe the door opens so I can hurry up and go vote. So he pulled and the fire alarm went off, and that was his stupid excuse of saying, oh yeah, I was just in a rush to go vote. I don't understand what the big deal is. So that is a felony, and he should be prosecuted for it. Absolutely. If they're going to sit there and they're going to prosecute the people just walking around the Capitol on January 6th, not the ones that were causing damage or anything like that, the ones that were just kind of meandering around, walking around. If they're going to prosecute those people for just walking around the Capitol on January 6th, then he absolutely should be. Absolutely. It's 100%. But will he? I doubt it. Because we live in a two-tiered justice system where it's one party gets one thing, obviously, since with the Trump thing, and then one party gets absolutely nothing. Because look at Hunter Biden. I mean, right now, without the Speaker of the House, the impeachment process of Biden is halted. I don't know about the investigation with Hunter. I don't know if that's halted or if that has to do with the Congress or anything like that. But all these things are halted, and they can't do anything until they decide to get a new Speaker of the House. So yeah, that's the update for the country at the moment. It's great. It's fantastic. And I want to play one more thing here before I end today. But there's a whole bunch of other videos, and I'll have to post them on my socials. So go to X, TikTok, YouTube, True Social, Facebook, the Kate and Eric Show on all of those, and you'll be able to find a lot more of these videos and other content there too. But I want to share this thing that Biden said, because reporters asked him, what do you think of the Speaker of the House? And so this is what he had to say.
What's your advice to the next House Speaker?
So, okay, he's just turning around with a goofy smile.
That's above my pay grade.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. He's the president of... Hold on, let's do that again.
What's your advice to the next House Speaker?
That's above my pay grade.
What? That is above your pay grade. You're the president of the United States. I mean, you're it. There is nobody above your pay grade. You're it there, dude. You are the one who is in charge, supposedly. But it's above his pay grade? Whose pay grade is it then? Who's the one that's above him? Lovely, isn't it? It's lovely. It's great. Oh, yeah. And one more thing that he had to say. I guess he was talking about the stupid, the student loan forgiveness thing that he has no authority to do. But this, if you want to know where to go do this, this is the website, and he's going to clearly give it out to you what you have to do.
Sign up for the SAVE plan at studentaid.gov/save. Studentaid.gov/save. And remember, you gotta keep up your payments up.
Everybody get that? Let's do that one more time.
You can sign up for the SAVE plan at studentaid.gov/save. Studentaid.gov/save. And remember,
So there you go. That's where you need to go. Student.slave-gov price. Anyway. So there you go. So that's the state of the country right now. We are speakerless of the House. But it's just if Republicans would run on these simple things that the Democrats, they've given them the game. It's the fourth quarter. There's no time left on the clock. They hand the ball to you. They fumbled the ball to you. They've thrown an interception, and all you do is have to just walk into the end zone and win the game. And it seems like that they just take the ball and chuck it down the field, and then that's it. So it's very frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. I don't understand it. But hopefully next week I will let you know who the Speaker of the House is. If you like this, please like, follow, subscribe, and share. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who listens to the show. I really appreciate it. I really do. So yeah, please share this with your family, rate, subscribe, do all those lovely things, and more people will hear it. And hopefully you have a great week, and I will talk with you next time, episode 25. Here coming up, I believe it's Columbus Day coming up, so I'll probably talk about him. I'll do a little thing on him because I think he is a great man, and the left is trying to murder or destroy his character as well. So have a great week, and see you later.